Hello, it looks like we are live.
Live.
It is 8 p.m. on Wednesday, the 21st of February. This is The Outside Bride, Ask an Expert with myself, Alan Braithwaite, and
Emily.
Braithwaite. As always, we are just going to wait a couple of minutes while we can finish setting up here, see if anyone's coming online. I think Emily is...
Emily's what?
You were going to do some hellos.
Oh, just to say a big hello. Oh, someone's on that new issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. Just to say a big hello to all of our new members. We've had quite an influx of people, so welcome. Thank you for joining us in the group. We're quite a nice place to be, I think. Do you think we're alright?
Yeah, we're alright.
We are your one-stop shop for advice and support, and in planning your special day. So we are a bit of a twosome. We come together for these kind of things, but we are also approachable individually on the group. So if you have direct questions for us, please feel free to either pitch them to me or to Alan.
I quite like it because most people usually just ask Emily, so I actually get the easy ride here, but I am more than happy to answer questions, and I like to fly the grooms a flag. So yes.
I also would like to apologise because Alan has kind of let us down this week.
Oh, have I? Oh, here we go. Oh, right, with no shirt.
It's just a pain.
Well, I don't have an endless supply of shirts. Now, if I'm honest, I meant to treat myself to a new shirt, especially for tonight. But I didn't. But I did put on, are we going with plum coloured?
No, it's pink.
No, that's not pink. Where did you go to school? That's not pink in anyone's world.
It's pink.
It's not pink. That's pink over there. Sorry, I'm pointing at Lily Rose's lunchbox. We're in the kitchen, which is the hub of the outside bride.
I might do a poll at the end of this as to who thinks Alan should carry on with the dodgy shirt situation, but we'll put a poll.
Well, I do, so no, that's fine.
So, is there anyone on? We've got 4 people on.
I've seen Lesley's name pop up. I've seen Kerry's name.
Evening, Lesley.
Oh, Gemma says it's pink. Gemma, I used to like you. You've just gone down in my estimation. You were my favourite member of the Outside Bride until that point right there. Thank you.
I could go and get the lunchbox and put it.
No, I'm getting it. Oh, hold on. Here we go.
No, that's baby pink. That's the pink. That's the pink.
Here we go. This is the kids' Peppa Pig Play-Doh pop. That's pink. This isn't. That's pink.
It's a cute.
Oh, Kerry, dark pink. Leslie's saying hi. Okay.
Anyway, back to what we're here for.
Yeah, we should talk about getting married. Otherwise, I'll be getting all the kids' stuff out.
As per always, we do have a few questions from people.
Sorry, can I just say, Gemma, I was only joking. You still are my favourite person in the group. That was just a joke.
We do have questions from people this week. We've had a few emails from people, which is amazing. But as always, if you have questions in this live, feel free to pop in the box. We have a computer there with more written down, so hopefully we can read your comments and we'll try and get through as many.
And it seems to be working this week, because last week it was a little bit dodge. Yes, so we are.
Right,
so Helen asked us a couple of questions. Helen Day, hello Helen. We know Helen. She asked us a couple of questions last week that we didn't get because of the problems. So I asked her if we could use them this week, and she said yes. So Helen has asked for ideas for a Prosecco station, and she's asked about how to make toilets at our outdoor wedding look fab, which is a absolutely fantastic question. Can we do the start with the Prosecco station first?
Yes.
Because there's a few different thoughts on the toilets. The Prosecco station, we know about this, didn't we? Because we've done a few. So really, can I just chuck a question? Yes, you can,
please do.
Gemma.
At any point,
just type it up, and we will try our best to answer it, unless it's about my clove sense or something like that. Anyway, Prosecco stations. Do you want to start? And
yes. So I did one recently for my mum's 60th birthday, and they can be done really, really simply. And I think the key is get your Prosecco, and you can get that in advance. You can either get it from your sort of wine merchant, or we got ours from Marks and Spencer's. To be honest, we got their 6 bottles with 25% off, so we got quite a few decent bottles out of that.
Yeah.
But the key is to keep it simple. So we constructed a table and a little bar area, and we got the big sign up. I did some chalk. I'm getting really quite good at my calligraphy lettering these days, so I did a nice big chalkboard saying Prosecco station.
Or you could just print it out, like yeah. I'm just trying to think cover all bases.
And in that we provided 3 or 4 different types of berries. We did blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. in some little bowls and little dishes, and then I had a carafe. I got some carafes from IKEA. They're really quite cheap ones, but some really nice glass ones like this big. And for one with orange juice, one with peach.
No, do you know what? Wasn't it cranberry actually?
No, pomegranate.
I knew it was something.
And I had a bottle of
Cassis.
Got a bottle of cassis and some elderflower cordial.
Yeah.
And I just decanted them all and left them on the side and literally used it as a self-serve station. Got some really nice glasses out and stuff, and some little glass bowls, and get some nice vintagey ones.
Oh, sorry, have you mentioned the fruit, or are you building up to it?
Yeah,
right. Oh, I didn't hear you say it.
Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Left as a self-serve station, and people helped themselves to bits and pieces, and it was really good fun. It was interactive, and actually people don't drink as much as you think, so you don't need as much, because you're having soft stuff with your Prosecco. You don't seem to use as much alcohol in terms of your numbers, because it doesn't dilute it, obviously.
Unless I'm at your wedding.
Unless Alan's there, when it's just a straw and a bottle, so that's fine. But they're really simple to do, and they look really effective, and they're a bit of fun. And if you've
I think they look amazing.
They do.
If I'm
And
honest, with the bottles over there, so don't be like that. We've had another domestic today watch us, so if it comes out, that's why.
What you can also do is, if you've got your Prosecco station, that's if you go for your drinkers, sort out a very similar, exactly the same station for your non-drinkers, and you can do that with either sparkling elderflower and get your fruits and stuff that way, or you can do ginger beer. It's quite good that way.
You can have it like the same end of a bar, you know, Prosecco one end, non-alcoholic fizzy stuff, lemonade, whatever, at the other end, soda water, tonic water, with the mixers in the middle.
I might post a photo of my mum's 60th actually.
Oh, someone has just, without Prosecco, that sounds like an awesome non-alcoholic version for non-drinkers. There we go. Fantastic. We covered that.
Good.
That's what we think.
Is Helen even on tonight? I don't know if she's
No, she's not, but that's fine. I'll tag her in it afterwards.
I'll put a photo of what we did, and you can see it.
Yes. Helen's second. Oh snap! We said it at the same time. Lesley. Sorry, Gemma. Lesley's now my new favourite person in the group. Hi, Lesley. Right, making toilets look fab.
Right, I do know from this particular question for Helen that Helen is going to a campsite, and they have a static toilet block. Not
I remember that.
Roof. But whatever we're about to say will translate to both.
Yeah. So, let's talk about a toilet block, and then talk into making it look pretty. Yeah. We mentioned this last week, actually. So, Gemma, your question's just popped up, which is why I stumbled, but we can come back to that. That's a very easy one for me to answer with my past as a marquee company. Right, we think when you're having an outdoor wedding with a teepee, marquee, some structure outside, that you have a working side and a non-working side, i.e. one side of the marquee will be the door and windows opening out onto your beautiful vista, forest, garden, whatever you want the guests and yourself to look out. Yeah, your public space. Behind that goes your toilets, your generators, your catering team, and anything else that is working for you. So that's how we think you would put toilets. On that, you could always put some grass matting around it if you really wanted to. There is a company who basically do pimped posh toilets, so
there are a few posh toilets. Are you talking about ones that had the Audrey Hepburn?
Yeah. So when it comes out, it can be glittery or it can be a shepherd's hut, and when you walk inside, there's giant black and white photos and sparkling and glitter and LED.
There's another company. So there's that. I can't remember what that.
I can't. I think they're based in Basingstoke actually.
But there's another company called Site Equip, and they do national as well. But they do really, really awesome wrapped ones. Not the insides, but they do a shepherd's hut, a beach hut, a potting shed, and I do another one. They do like themed ones, which are really, really cool, because that way you kind of just...
Well, you're making a feature out of something. You can't disguise
that you've got a big old toilet there sometimes, so they make it fun. So they're quite worth looking at, and I'm sure there are other companies across the country that do very similar. But in terms of what goes on the inside, because what Helen was asking last week was the prettying up of said toilets
inside,
on the
really.
inside.
Yeah, she asked about paper towels versus towels and other things. So.
One thing I would say, and now just remember the type of wedding you're going for is an outdoor, rusticy festival maybe.
In Britain.
you're not going to a 5-star hotel where you expect to have white linen and properly pressed towels and stuff. So if you don't put towels into your toilets, people aren't really going to care. I wouldn't go to a wedding personally and go, oh my goodness, I've got paper towels to dry my hands with. I wouldn't say. But if you want to do it, there are some really easy and quick ways to make toilets look pretty. One of them being putting like a box of pamper and stuff. And we've done that with the Baylily bell tents. We put bell tents up for pampering purposes next to toilet blocks sometimes, and in that, and it doesn't matter if you do it in the toilet or in the tent or wherever you go, your deodorants, your hairsprays, your nail varnish, do ladders in your tights, that kind of stuff. Just put it in a nice pretty basket at the end of the toilets. You can put some fresh flowers in quite easily. If you've got jam jars and stuff, put them into there. You can put some little tea lights, battery powered tea lights for the evening.
And have you mentioned reed diffusers as well?
Reed
I think they're really they're really simple,
because ultimately,
and they're pretty and they smell nice.
When you go to temporary toilets, doesn't matter how pretty up you make it, they always smell of blue.
Yes,
always.
fact.
So if you can get some really nice reed diffusers to put in there, and obviously you only need 1 or 2 per toilet block, that will just transform the entire space, and you won't be going. I'm going to put my sort of honest hat on. I don't think it's worth spending a fortune on your toilet block, but I do understand the desire to make it seem slightly nicer than just a toilet block. But a few careful, simple touches, like I want to say, I nearly said lei, as in the Hawaiian lei, but I think I mean garland. Yeah. Like
a garland round a mirror, something like that, just to connect it with the outdoors.
And it depends if you're having a theme. If you're having a themed wedding, or you've got a particular style in ones, you can tie it in. I mean, I know for Helen's looking at very busticky, so she might, with her static block, might want to put some bunting out the front. You might want to put some
festoon
lighting around it, so at least people to a part of it. Because obviously at night time, it's going to be a lot darker than in the daytime, and you might just need some guidance as to how people are going to get to where. There are so many easy things you can do, but I wouldn't worry too much.
Lesley, my new favourite person in the group, has said mozzie spray if it's summer and cream, and absolutely, and that's part of that pamper box if you decide to go down that route. We've seen, without being too crass, we've seen condoms in the pamper box with paracetamol and everything else. Your guests.
If you're having people stay over, like with our villages and stuff, we often put in Diarrhea, paracetamol, toothpaste, an extra couple of toothbrushes for afterwards, because everyone forgets a toothbrush. But ultimately, it's about going back to the whole how it looks and how it feels. After a few bevies, by 9 o'clock, when people are just using it to go to the toilet. They're not going to be spending lots of time in it unless you're a girl. Girls tend to still have a chat, don't they?
No, I don't know. And boys don't even make it to the toilet. No. Yes, so as a boy, I can guarantee that does happen. Hopefully that answers Helen and anyone else thinking about it, or give you some ideas. Can we go to this one Gemma's question?
Yes. Gemma, can you read it out?
Gemma Kraskell Broster, my second favourite person in the Outside Bride, says, Marquee, where do I begin? I've got a field, I've got a date, I'm happy to organise other bits, but I don't know where to start with Marquee. Do they come with chairs, tables, etc.? Right.
Whereabouts are you getting married, Gemma?
Gemma, are you able to pop up? Not that it really matters, but it's only
just curious.
If it's local to us, we could probably recommend a couple of things. Right, there's lots to bear in mind. I see Emily's mentioned Tentario do teepees. Absolutely. So do you want a teepee? Do you want a square marquee, which is called a clear span marquee? Do you want a capri marquee, which is has the pointy bits and looks very fancy?
Like a stretch tent.
Do you want a party tent, which is like a gazebo on speed? Or do you want more traditional marquee with poles and ropes?
The Sperry tents are quite nice.
The Sperry tents.
They're like the sailcloth material ones.
Yeah, and the thing is, they all look fantastic. If you go and get quotes from all of these people, they're all going to be different. The prices are all going to be different and everything else. So you kind of need to have a think about what you want, what style of marquee you want. It would be worth looking at a couple. I know, Gemma, I'm sorry. Wow options. It is really difficult. They should be able to provide you a quote for everything you need. If they can't, so they should be able to provide you flooring options. Thoughts are a wooden floor is worth the money, personally, unless the marquee is going up on
That's a marquee, not a teepee.
Oh, of course you wouldn't. Sorry, that's how complicated an answer.
What I would say though, going forward, and again,
I was entering into male practical mode. Go on, Emily.
You've got loads and loads of options to think about, and if you want to have a private chat with us, we can happily come and give you some sort of tips and hints to things to look at going forward. But when you're getting your quotes, and it's really important, think about your guest amounts and the size. I would say if you're going for a large scale wedding, capri marquees aren't always the best because of the shape of them.
You lose the edge.
A lot of edge on site. And same with teepees. But
Emily, that is very true. Emily says a teepee isn't cheap.
They aren't cheap, but they are spectacular. But make sure you really scrutinise your quotes, because we both found from our separate business, I've obviously had the bell tents, Alan's had Marquees in the past, that customers have come to us in the past and tried to compare quotes together, and they are two very, very different quotes hand in hand. For example, with Marquees, if you've got two Marquee quotes and one's £2,000 and one's £7,000, there's often a reason for that. Not necessarily because they're trying to be a cowboy, but Alan's had in the past with Marquees, someone's trying to compare quotes. One's got full suspended wooden floor in that, which is quite not costly, but it's
there's a cost associated with it.
Compared to just carpet on the floor or no matting. One's comparing Chivari chairs, one's doing folding chairs. So really look at the specifics. When you've got two quotes in front of you, don't just go, oh damn it, there's £5,000 difference, I'm going to go with the cheapest.
Honestly, Gemma said, honestly, which of the cheapest as its renewal of vows? I don't think I mind what it looks like. Look for someone doing a party tent or a capri marquee. They will be the cheapest. And if you Google party tents or capri marquees in Hampshire, we can't recommend them because we've never used them, but we know them quite well. There's a company called Nixon's Marquees. They do capri marquees. We've heard good things, but we've not directly used them. But a capri marquee can look fantastic. And they do look fantastic.
They do. They have
unless the weather's bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing with capri marquees though, which you can sort of do in a nice way, is they have the big archway windows. Rather than having a big panoramic around the edge, you've got nice big archway windows, and you can get some really lovely soft uplighting them in the evenings, and they can look fab as well. We've been to a few weddings with capris. But if you're looking for a cost-effective option, capris will be your option over a clear span marquee with all the trimmings and stuff, because you can still...
Because clear span marquees and teepees are essentially temporary venues. They're like bomb-proof and everything else. So if you just want a bit of shelter for renewal of vows or wedding or whatever your party, then definitely look at capri marquees or party tent style marquees. Emily put, ours cost over 6k. Gemma went, I want the cheapest, and Emily put, they're not TP. Very true, very true. But they look amazing, and that's the thing. And you get what you pay for in a TP. And we put a couple of pictures up on the Outside Bride Instagram this week, and they've had load more likes than any of the other pictures, just because, well, A, there's a TP in it, and B, they were taken by a drone, so they look amazing.
Yeah, they do.
Our pleasure, Gemma. Laura says, we have a TP for the ceremony, a barn for the party. Emily Jane, we've booked with Tentaria, and they have been amazing.
Tentaria are spectacular.
You know them.
Again, with bell tents, we tend to go to a lot of that kind of style weddings. So we've seen a lot of bell and tent company, TP companies across the county and stuff, and they are just spectacular. But Tentaria are really, really good lads.
On last thing, Gemma, when you get your quotes or you start shopping around or whatever you decide to do, feel free to ask questions in the group, and and I'll be happy to pop on, and so will Emily. We're more than happy to answer questions.
We've said this. We're going to start doing some tutorials and stuff throughout the next sort of weeks and months and stuff. So
are we?
Yes, we are.
More domestics coming up then, team.
But we're here to help, so any questions, just fly away.
Yes, right, so we are approaching 20 minutes. Sylvie has asked, is it a good idea to do a DIY photo booth with Polaroid cameras?
Right.
You had this email to you, didn't you?
This was emailed to me. Everyone likes a good photo booth. Everyone can do them in their own ways, and it's quite simple to do. And if you've got a space, and you've got your props, and you've got frames and stuff, brilliant. The one thing I would always say is proceed with absolute caution when you're using Polaroid cameras for said activity, because again, I having been to a few weddings where it gets quite drunken, by about 9 o'clock when everyone's had a couple of beers, that photo booth will be taken advantage of, and film is so costly, and it depends how you're doing, because a lot of people like to do one for them to take away, one to put in the book or the guest book or hang up.
I was going to say that it's almost like I'm a bit OCD organised, and for me my personal challenge with anything DIY is, who's going to manage it?
Yeah.
You know, who's going to replace the film? Who's going to do this? Do you want 100 pictures of cock or ball around the venue? You know, and that's the question. Who's going to tidy up when the drunk people have thrown it 5 metres?
You won't. If you're expecting there to be a really lovely display of photos at the end of it, be prepared there won't be.
Do you know what? Perhaps we just go to weddings with these people.
They are quite drunken when we go to.
No, I know, but perhaps it is the rest of the world. They don't get as drunken as our friends. Who knows? I'm sure you all do.
But I say it's absolutely fun to do that, and they look amazing. And who doesn't love a Polaroid picture?
They look fab.
Get yourself a member of the family, mother of the bride, anyone you like, just to be kind of like caretaker of it as a section, because, like I said, cameras are expensive. You don't want them to get broken. Film is expensive. They're going to need reloading every 10 seconds, and everyone goes snap, 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 snap. And you want it to look good at the end of it. So just proceed with caution.
Last question on our list from Sylvie again. Ideas for collating photos from guests.
Yeah, that was a really simple one, and I just thought I'd bring it up because it's a simple app. So Sylvia asked about wedding photos at the end. Obviously, you've got loads of guests, loads of people taking photos, and you kind of want a central place for them all to go. Facebook groups are great for that if you want to do it cheap and easy, because you can set up a Facebook. But
cheap and easy, free.
It's free, yeah. But not everyone in your wedding party would necessarily be on Facebook. So
Facebook, like the 4th largest country in the world, or whatever?
Oh right, great Auntie Flo might not be on Facebook. I know. But there's a really cool app. You've probably heard of it, so it's probably not anything which will wow to you. But there's something called wedpics.com, and they are an app. You can get it on your phone. You can get everyone to get it on their phone, and then literally at the end of the event, they can all upload their photos. You have it on one central album. You can, from there as well, people can pick and choose if they want to print photos from there. They can order photos. They can share them with you. You can upload, download it. It's just a really easy way of doing it. So I would say, if you want to do it Facebook, fantastic, but wedpics.com is definitely a really simple way of doing that.
Only because I have a background in technical stuff, so I like this. There are, you could use Dropbox, you could use things like iCloud photo sharing. There are many, and whatever Google's version is called or Amazon's version is called.
Ultimately, but if you've got 150 guests, one of them will be stupid.
Yeah, it's a challenge collating everyone's photos. I remember after our wedding, but we tried our best and we just got everyone to send it over. So no, absolutely. Well, that's it. Unless anyone's got any pressing questions, that is all our known questions for this week. And well, that's it. We do actually enjoy this. We nearly forgot tonight, but no, we were only joking. We didn't.
I was merrily putting one of the kids to bed, and Hannah's like, "Hurry up! Hurry up!" But I was like, "Why am I hurrying up?"
Putting the kids to the bed, the ones that gives us the ones that give us these bags under our eyes. Oh, you haven't got any?
No, looking fresh as a daisy.
No, I haven't put my. Who's my Dermot? I've got Dermot O'Leary eye serum from Marks and Spencer's, which obviously I bought into. It doesn't seem to be having much effect. Dermot. So yes.
Next week.
Bye bye from Seb.
Bye Seb. Seb's 18 months old. It's going to be me and someone else next week, because selfishly this one,
I'm off to see Ant Middleton do a live chat. If anyone knows who Ant Middleton is, he does some programmes on Channel 4, proper like boys' own stuff. But I've been reliably informed that probably 70% of the audience is going to be female. They're all swooning over him. Yeah, Emily thinks it's hot anyway.
So it's going to be me and somebody else. It might be another supplier. However, if I do know there are a few brides that have got married already in this group. So if any brides in here who have been married in the last 18 months, 2 years, so want to pop on and share a screen with me, feel free. Because you've all got a wealth of knowledge. Alan's like, what?
No, I'm fine with that. I've gone immediately into technical mode, as in making sure that works.
What's
next
that
week.
one?
Lesley, question for next week. Of course, Lesley, you're my favourite. How to politely ask people not to take let me ask you. How to politely ask people not to take pics during the ceremony.
Unplugged.
People. Well, yeah, you either coin the phrase unplugged, or you basically ask the registrar to say, please don't do it.
Again, there's some really nice stuff. We'll do it answer quick because we're here.
Yeah.
There are some really cool little rhymes and limericks and stuff you can get. I would suggest at your ceremony, just get a chalkboard or an A-frame or something, and just really put a nice little limerick saying about it being an unplugged wedding.
Yeah.
Get your registrar to just do it at the beginning, because they always do a chat about no photos, blah blah blah, just get them to make sure that they are.
I think it's one of those things where people will go, oh blimey, I can't not allowed to take any photos, and then sit there happily not taking any photos.
And do you know what, it's, people are getting wise to it these days. It's more and more now that people go, actually, it's about us getting married. I don't really want Alan having a camera in his face for like 2 seconds. He wants to be able to see the bride walking down, vice versa, and want to see faces, and you don't need to see 50,000 smartphones getting down the aisle. So it's not uncommon. I wouldn't even worry about being polite. I would just say it's an unplugged wedding, this is the thing, this is what we're saying, put it on a sign, people can read it, and if they don't, cut them from the wedding.
Yes. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. We do need to wrap up now. This is the longest ever. So we would like to thank you all for coming online.
It's been a good one this evening.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And we look forward to speaking to you all again next week. As always...
No, you're not going to speak to me next week. No, I'm not here
next week. As always, share everything with us on the group. We'll happily comment and help wherever we can.
Absolutely.
And because ultimately, we like weddings as much as you do. That's why we do this.
I hope so. We work in them.
No, I know. We love it. You know we love it. We absolutely love it. We do love it genuinely. Anyway, good night, everyone. Have fun. Bye.